You're listening to ARC Advisory Group's The Sustainability Podcast, where we explore how artificial intelligence, industrial sustainability, logistics, supply chains, and smart cities are shaping the future. In every episode, we talk with industry leaders who are finding practical ways to create more sustainable solutions. Whether you're a business professional or just curious, these conversations will give you fresh ideas on how to reduce environmental impact while improving efficiency. From smart technologies to rethinking supply chain strategies, there's always something new to learn. If you'd like to go further and make a real difference, be sure to connect with ARC Advisory Group. Our expertise can help your organization adopt cutting-edge sustainability strategies that drive both innovation and results. Don't miss the chance to stay ahead and make meaningful changes for a more sustainable future. The Trump administration transportation policies, key changes, industry impacts, and strategic actions for logistics and supply chain leaders. That's our topic today. The U.S. transportation sector is undergoing major policy changes following President Donald Trump's return to office this year. His administration has reversed electric vehicle initiatives, reduced funding for transportation research, and removed several regulatory measures. These shifts mark a clear departure from the Biden administration's approach and signal truly a new direction for mobility and infrastructure in the U.S. First, the EV policy reversal, a shift back to gas-powered fleets. The Trump administration has significantly changed the federal government's approach to EV adoption. Under President Joe Biden, agencies invested heavily in EV infrastructure and fleet electrification. However, the new administration is taking the following steps. First, they're cutting charging infrastructure. The General Services Administration, the GSA, plans to deactivate many EV charging stations installed at federal properties, arguing they are costly and rely on foreign supply chains. Next, they're liquidating the EV fleet. Thousands of EVs purchased under President Joe Biden will be auctioned or reassigned, with a return to gasoline-powered government vehicles. Lastly, they are rolling back emission standards. The administration is easing federal fuel economy requirements, citing concerns over costs for automakers and consumers. These changes align with Trump's broader focus on domestic oil and gas production and a market-driven energy policy. The administration has also questioned EV tax credits, with some officials calling for their removal. Next, on the subject of deregulation and reducing federal oversight. The administration is focused on reducing federal regulations to speed up infrastructure projects and give states more control over transportation policy. A number of key actions include eliminating some environmental reviews. A rule requiring extensive environmental impact studies for large projects is being reversed. This is expected to accelerate road and bridge construction in particular. Next, they'll be shifting authority to states. State governments will have more control over transportation decisions, which could lead to a variety of policies across the country. Next, they're reducing federal funding for public transit. The administration is scaling back support for urban transit projects, encouraging private sector involvement instead. Next, budget cuts to transportation research. The Trump administration's new budget significantly reduces funding for transportation research and development. First of all, they are cutting Department of Transportation research grants. These are grants for autonomous vehicles, smart traffic systems, and sustainable transit solutions, all of which are being reduced. They are also eliminating ARPA-I, which is the Advanced Research Products Agency for Infrastructure, created under Joe Biden. That's being shut down. Lastly, they're prioritizing traditional infrastructure. This focus is shifting towards road construction, bridge repairs, and airport upgrades instead of emerging technologies. So what's the impact on states and cities? Well, with less federal involvement, states and cities will have to navigate these policy changes independently. In California, EV regulations are are under review. California plans to enforce these strict emissions rules despite the federal rollbacks, setting up a number of potential legal challenges between the state and the federal government. Of course, in New York, there's a congestion pricing debate, and the administration opposes congestion pricing, arguing it unfairly impacts drivers. And in Texas and in Florida, these states are prioritizing road construction and highway projects with fewer federal restrictions. These policy changes create both challenges and opportunities for transportation, logistics, and supply chain companies. Businesses must adjust their strategies to remain competitive. Our first recommendation is to adjust fleet management plans. Plan for longer use of gas-powered vehicles. With the reduction in EV mandates, businesses should ensure internal combustion engine ICE fleets remain efficient. Number 2, secure fuel supply agreements. This renewed focus on oil and gas may lead to price fluctuations. Long-term contracts can help manage price variability and volatility. And it's important to monitor state regulations. Some states will continue aggressive EV policies, others may not. Companies operating nationwide must track these different rules and adapt accordingly. Next, it's important to leverage deregulation for efficiency. Take advantage of faster infrastructure approvals. Fewer environmental reviews mean road and bridge projects will move quicker, improving freight routes. Engage with state governments. Since states will have more control, businesses should participate in state-level transportation planning. And optimize routes to avoid urban congestion. With less federal funding for public transit, some cities may see increased congestion. Dynamic routing will be essential. Next, adapting to the research funding cuts. It's important to monitor private sector innovation. With this reduction in federal funding, businesses should look to private companies investing in AI, automation, and alternative fuels. It's important also to invest in cost-saving technology. Fuel efficiency and particularly logistics software will be critical in managing costs under this new policy landscape. And it's important to explore public-private partnerships. As cities seek private investment for transit projects, logistics firms may find new collaboration opportunities therein. This transportation landscape in the U.S. is changing. Supply chain leaders should act now to adjust fleet strategies, use deregulation to their advantage, and invest in efficiency. It's important, as we discussed, to engage with state policymakers, assess infrastructure needs, and explore technology solutions. Businesses that do so, that adapt, will stay ahead, and those that do not will face increasing challenges. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your participation on a future edition of the Sustainability Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Sustainability Podcast. Today, we explored how artificial intelligence, logistics, supply chains, and smart cities are revolutionizing sustainability efforts across industries. Now's the time to take what you've heard and start implementing those changes in your work. Please share this episode with others who are passionate about building a better future and keep the momentum going. For those looking to go deeper, ARC Advisory Group offers unparalleled guidance in developing and executing sustainability strategies. Please reach out to us for expert insights and support that can help you turn these ideas into action and to lead your organization towards a more sustainable path.